Okay guys, so let's look at our first example, right? Our first trade example. Okay, so I'll go to the charts and we'll look at Nifty 3-minute time frame. Okay, and before I add the Bollinger Band indicator, I just want to look at the overall chart and just see what it's telling me. Okay, as we learned in section 1, right? I just want to gauge as to whether I'm getting any indication or not. So what I can see here is Nifty is trending up nicely, right? Nifty is going up nicely. Okay, if I put up this trend line here, we can see some resistance up there, right? So before we get into the trading day, I just want to mark my lines, my trend lines, and just see if I can get any trading opportunity. So here I can see that Nifty is forming this rising wedge pattern. Okay, now if it breaks out towards the upside, I might not be too happy with it. Okay, because I don't like rising wedge breakouts towards the top, right? These are good reversal patterns, so I would like to see a breakout towards the bottom. So if price does break out towards the bottom, right, then we will look at our Bollinger Bands and look for an entry. Okay, so let me quickly add the indicator, Bollinger Bands, make this exponential and apply. Okay, there we go. And we have RSI already plotted. So now let's zoom in and let's get into the next trading day. Okay, so as you can see, price did try breaking out above. Okay, now in this case, guys, you know, we saw this candle break out above, right? It has closed above the upper Bollinger Band. RSI is above the 60 level. So technically, I could have placed my entry above this candle high, right? But it did not trigger. Okay, and now price started to fall, right? And that is simply because as I drew this upper trend line, right, we saw that there is good resistance here. Okay, so as per our other way of trading, this would have been a good sell entry. Okay, but now let's come back to the Bollinger Band strategy, our strategy number 1. And let's see if this trend line, the bottom trend line, breaks, right? And that is when I will look to take an entry as per the Bollinger Bands. So now here we go, guys. Okay, this candle has broken below this trend line. So we've got a breakout. It has closed below the lower Bollinger Band and RSI is below 40. Okay, so all my entry criteria match. I will take a sell entry below this candle low, right? And you can give a 1-point buffer. So at 11,902 will be your entry. Okay, now stop loss. Okay, stop loss, we either keep above a swing high. Now look at this, guys. Okay, this swing high is near 36 points. That's too much. Okay, so I will simply keep it at 20 points. Okay, I don't want to risk more than 20 points on a trade, right? So my stop loss is 20 points. This is my entry. All right, so now I'm in the trade. Okay, I'm in the trade. And now as price goes lower, right? As price goes lower, my first target will be 20 points. Okay, I'll keep that later, right? So my first target will be 20 points, which is technically achieved right here, guys. Okay, which is achieved in the next candle itself, right? So if you're booking full profits here, great. If you want to trail, okay, this is how we can trail, right? So okay, so now we've got a new swing high, right? Can we all see that this is a swing high, these two candle highs, right? So let's say that I have not booked profits here, right? I will just simply move my stop loss to this swing high. Okay, so now my risk is simply 7 points. Okay, my risk is simply 7 points, and this is if I've not booked profits here. Now, this is also if I have booked partial profits at 20 points and I just want to trail my position, right? I want to trail my position. So I will bring the stop loss down to this here, this swing high. All right. And then you just keep trailing your position. Okay, here we go. So now we are completely out of the trade, guys, right? So your second position as well, you would have booked here, right above this swing high. Okay, fair enough. So, let me draw that trend line again. Right, so our first trade, was somewhere like this. Yeah. Okay, so our first trade is done, right? We got our minimum 20-point profit, and if you were trailing, then we would have booked out here and booked a small 7-point loss on our remaining position. Now, let's see what happens further in the day. Okay, so guys, price was not able to sustain above this trend line, right? We've got a breakout towards the bottom. Okay, and now price is again attempting to break below this trend line, right? So in this case, we can look for another entry, right? Because price is now below the trend line again, and if you can see here, this candle has closed below the lower band. RSI has again come below 40, so I can make another attempt to enter below this candle low. So let's see if we get an entry. Okay, so we do get an entry. Stop loss will be 20 points, not more. Okay, this is my stop loss. Target, first target will be 20 points, which again happens in the next candle itself. Okay, I'll just keep it like that. And right, so 20 points target is done. Now, I will, suppose if I'm trailing, right? Suppose if I've booked half of my position here and I'm trailing. So now I will move my stop loss as per the swing highs. So we get a swing high here. I will move my stop loss here, right? If I'm trailing my position. Okay. Now, if you see, guys, from we entered at 11,868 and we got a profit of almost 70 points. Okay. So if you've booked partial at 20 points and you know you're seeing 70-point profit, right? Don't let all that go. Okay. What you can do is you can move your stop loss, right? You can keep trailing your stop loss, you know, like this, and the moment you see a green candle, you can exit, right? At least you will have booked 50-point profit. Okay, don't let these points go, right? Don't let these points go just in hopes to gain more, right? A 70-point gain is fairly good, that too within a few minutes, right? That this may have been around 15 minutes. Okay. So this was, you know, our first trade example, good trend line breakout, or we can call it a rising wedge breakout, which we got, right? We got one entry where we got 20 points and second entry where we got almost 70 points, right? So this was the first example. Let's go on to the next videos and look at a few more examples.